Long before cigarettes, long before wine bottles, long before pills, syringes, or vape pens, ancient humans were already changing their minds on purpose. They smoked, they chewed, they brewed. They inhaled smoke from burning plants around a fire and felt something shift inside their heads. This wasn't an accident. It wasn't rare. It happened across almost every continent, in almost every ancient culture, thousands of years before recorded history even began. So when exactly did this start? How far back does it really go? And why did early humans risk their lives experimenting with unknown plants? The answer is older, stranger, and far more widespread than most people ever learn in school. And once you understand it, you'll never look at a cigarette, a glass of wine, or an old ritual painting the same way again. Let's start at the very beginning. Tens of thousands of years ago, humans lived completely surrounded by nature. There were no shops, no labels, no warnings, just endless plants, roots, mushrooms, and berries growing wild across the land. And early humans were curious. They had to be. Curiosity kept them alive. Every new plant was a gamble. Every unfamiliar leaf could be food, or poison, or something else entirely. They tested what they found. Some plants filled their stomachs, some plants healed cuts and fevers, and some plants did something completely different. They made the mind feel strange, dizzy, light, sometimes calm, sometimes wildly awake. Humans noticed, and once they noticed, they never stopped experimenting. This experimentation wasn't reckless, it was survival testing, passed down for generations. A person would try a new leaf. If they got sick, that knowledge was shared. Don't eat that one. If a leaf caused strange visions or numbness, that knowledge spread too. This plant does something powerful. Handle it carefully. Slowly, tribe by tribe, region by region, a kind of ancient pharmacy formed. Not written down, not studied in labs, just carried in memory, passed from elder to child, generation after generation, for thousands of years. One of the clearest, earliest stories of intentional drug use comes from tobacco. In the Americas, ancient peoples were using tobacco long before Europeans ever set foot on the continent. But here's the twist. It wasn't casual. Nobody was smoking tobacco on a break from hunting. It was sacred. Shamans used tobacco smoke in deeply spiritual ceremonies. They believed the smoke rising into the sky carried prayers, messages, and requests to the spirit world. Some tribes believed tobacco could cleanse a person spiritually, removing bad energy or sickness from the body. Others believed it opened a doorway between the physical world and the world beyond it. Tobacco wasn't a habit, it was a tool, used with intention, respect, and often deep fear of misusing it. Cannabis has an even older and stranger story. Archaeologists digging through ancient burial sites in Central Asia discovered something remarkable: burnt cannabis seeds, found inside wooden burial chambers sealed away for thousands of years. These seeds are over 2,500 years old. Researchers believe people were burning cannabis inside small fire pits during funeral rituals, deliberately inhaling the thick smoke that filled the enclosed space. Why would they do that at a funeral? Some scientists believe the smoke helped mourners enter an altered state, allowing them to feel emotionally closer to the person who had died. Others believed it was part of a spiritual send-off, helping guide the soul into the next world. Either way, this wasn't recreational, it was ceremonial, deeply tied to grief, memory, and the mystery of death itself. Then there's alcohol, and its story goes back even further than most people realize. In ancient China, scientists discovered evidence of a fermented drink made from rice, honey, and fruit. This discovery dates back nearly 9,000 years. Let that sink in for a moment. 9,000 years, long before writing was invented, long before the wheel existed, long before a single city had ever been built anywhere on Earth, humans were already brewing alcohol on purpose, likely drinking it together during gatherings, celebrations, and rituals. And China wasn't alone. In ancient Mesopotamia, considered one of the earliest civilizations in human history, beer wasn't just a casual drink, it was practically sacred. Some ancient texts even describe beer as a gift from the gods. Workers were sometimes paid in beer instead of money. Entire religious ceremonies revolved around it. This wasn't a modern invention hiding in ancient times. It was ancient, deeply, deeply ancient, woven into the earliest foundations of organized human society. But why did humans want these altered states in the first place? The answer isn't as simple as getting high for fun. In many ancient cultures, altered states of mind were seen as sacred doorways. Doorways into the spirit world, doorways into healing, doorways into visions that could guide an entire tribe's decisions. In parts of South America, shamans used powerful plant mixtures, brewed carefully over many hours, to enter deep trance states. During these trances, they believed they could speak directly with ancestors, with spirits, even with animals. To modernize, this might look like simple drug use, but to these ancient societies, it was something closer to sacred technology, a tool for communication with realms unreachable through ordinary consciousness. Even in ancient Mesoamerica, cultures like the Aztecs used a specific cactus known for its powerful mind-altering effects. It played a central role in religious ceremonies, believed to allow direct communication with the gods themselves. Priests consumed it during major rituals, entering visions that shaped religious teachings passed down for generations. Getting high, in this context, wasn't a personal choice. It was a religious duty, performed on behalf of the entire community. Pain relief was another enormous reason ancient humans turned to these substances. Life back then was brutal. Injuries were constant. Diseases had no cure. There were no hospitals, no anesthesia, no modern painkillers of any kind. So humans turned to the only pharmacy available to them, nature itself. The poppy plant became especially important. Ancient civilizations, including the Sumerians and later the ancient Greeks, discovered that its extract could numb pain and induce deep, heavy sleep. The Sumerians even had a name for it that translates roughly to joy plant. This was one of the earliest natural painkillers ever used by humans, and its influence stretched across thousands of years of medical history. In South America, coca leaves played a similar role. Indigenous peoples living at extreme high altitudes chewed coca leaves constantly, not for pleasure, but for survival. Coca helped fight exhaustion. It helped fight altitude sickness. It gave workers enough energy to survive brutal daily labor in thin mountain air where every breath was already a struggle. Mushrooms held their own strange place in ancient life. Certain mushrooms were eaten specifically during difficult rituals, times of grief, or serious illness. Some cultures believed these mushrooms reduced suffering. Others believed they revealed hidden truths about life, death, and the universe. In a world without modern medicine, therapy, or explanation for why bad things happened, these substances offered comfort.